Hey everybody, welcome to your horoscopes, the first full week of 2015 horoscopes. I'm Melissa Bruce, the heavy metal psychic. And of course, we're going to just go ahead and get right into it. And as always, we're going to start with Aries. Lots of things happening this week, guys. And the week is actually going to start out a little bit challenging. As the moon moves into Cancer and starts off the week in Cancer, she creates a T-square with Uranus, which is in your sign, and Pluto and the Sun, which is in Capricorn. And basically what this challenge is all about is to watch how you're thinking about things. If you're overly emotionally thinking about things, this could really lead to frustrations and becoming overly emotional about the situation at hand. So a little bit of a difficulty there, but the good news is that it moves out of it pretty quick. Now that square between Pluto and Uranus, of course, is going to be here for all of 2015. No breaks. It's not going anywhere, unfortunately. I'm sorry to say. I've already looked at the horoscopes for the year. And right now, with the Sun joining in to Pluto, it does make a little bit of a difficulty in terms of whether or not you can shine in those goals, those personal goals and dreams that you have. Now, this is all old news, old stuff. So it kind of sort of goes back to that moon placement at the beginning of the week. Mind your thoughts on this and mind your inner voice on this. The truth is that if you got an issue where you keep going back to, I don't know if I can do this, this is what is holding you back. So when it comes down to it, it's time to eliminate that stupid little voice. He doesn't, or she doesn't have any room to be in there, and replace that with, yes, I can. Yes, I can do this. It's all about overcoming and letting go of your fears this week. Now, towards the end of the week, Uranus is going to trine with Jupiter and definitely positively aspects Mercury and Venus, moving into the career zone there. So those hopes and dreams can become realities and can be what you're known for or what you do for a living. And it's these things especially that are closest to your heart. So whatever the challenge is, you know how to overcome it. That's what it's all about. That's what challenges are all about. And the bottom line is, you guys are Rams. You can do whatever you want. So you guys have a great week with that. Taurus, it's all about you guys this week, Taurus, and not a lot of planet influence to help or hinder your progress. So when it comes down to it, it is the first week of the new year, and it's all about building up the you that you want to be this week. And this is really actually a great opportunity for you to start some new processes or create new things. It's one thing to have dreams, it's another thing to actually move forward with those dreams and get those things done. So this week is all about starting that process of moving forward in order to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. But it is all about you, the beautiful, lovable, determined you that you are. And I want to talk a little bit about stubbornness, because Tauruses are known for their stubbornness. Not every Taurus is going to agree with me, but as an astrologer, it's generally one of the things that the bulls are known for. Stubbornness is not necessarily a bad thing either. I'm a stubborn person myself, and I'm not a Taurus, but still, you can use your stubbornness to your advantage. So are you going to be stubborn about moving forward and not do it? Or are you going to be stubborn about moving forward and really be rigid on that schedule in order to make it happen? It's not necessarily a negative trait if you use it for the right means. And everybody has that bag of excuses. This week, it's time to put that bag of excuses down and start walking your walk, start doing what it is that you want to do. So you got those ideas rolling around your head, those are your dreams. Now it's time to put them down on a piece of paper and say, let's do this. This is what I'm going to do. And I know you guys can do that because you're determined as heck. So have a beautiful week with that, guys. Gemini, though it is important to move forward, sometimes you find yourself looking back on the past. And you know what? That's okay. Being nostalgic is actually a good thing at times. At the same time, though, it's also useful in terms of being able to move forward. For instance, if you're looking at new opportunities and you find yourself feeling like you need to look backwards into where you have come from, there's a good reason for this. This is all about looking at where you come from, looking at the things that didn't work so that you can create a different outcome for your new ventures, making it an awesome experience because you stand a better chance of success. So looking back is not necessarily all bad. If you're looking back and wishing that you could go back there, well, then by all means, you may need to tweak it a little bit. But if you're looking back in gratitude at what you were able to accomplish at that time and looking at the mistakes that were made at that time so that you can rectify those, that's when you know that you're going forward in a successful way, because that is part of the whole process and that's needed. So you guys, you Geminis, enjoy that little bit of nostalgia time. Look at it for what it is and move forward, owning it like you Geminis do. And I hope you guys have a great week with that. Cancers, the moon is unfortunately not your friend this week. She starts out the week in your sign Sunday and Monday, starting out with a T-square between Pluto and the sun in Capricorn, and of course Uranus there in Aries. And as she moves on into the next day, she moves into opposition with Venus and Mercury, and still remains in opposition with Pluto and the sun there. This is going to create some definite challenges for you guys for the first couple of days of the week specifically. It really feels like no matter what you want to do to move forward and progress in something, something always gets in your way. But at the same time, this is a really good opportunity to see where this stems from. Because if it seems like it happens every single time you try to move forward in something, it may not be circumstance, and it may not be life, it may not be everything else. It may be you. Yes, that's true. That's what I said. It may be you. Our own fears project these things out, believe it or not, so that they stop us from moving forward. And that's something that all of us do all the time, especially the females of the human breed, because there's so many different beautiful distractions that we can have. And you caretakers and nurturing cancers out there definitely have that, a lot of different things going on, and you're definitely taking care of a lot of different people and a lot of different things. So these things, of course, they're going to get up and they're going to get in the way. The bottom line is, are you going to let them get in your way? It's going to get a little sticky, it's going to get a little tricky there for a couple of days, but once you move forward, things are going to be a lot easier and you'll be able to have some smooth sailing time. So when it comes down to it, don't allow the circumstances to hold you back. If you have to take a break from your goals and what you're working towards right now for a couple of days while things smooth out, fine, go ahead and do so. Just make sure that you get back up on that horse and keep on riding afterwards. And I know you guys can, because you guys can do anything. So you guys have a great week with that. Leos, thankfully, this is pretty much the last full week of the Jupiter and Mars opposition, as Mars is kind of sort of starting to move into Pisces there. In fact, next week Mars will be headed on into Pisces and out of Aquarius, which means out of your opposition zone. So maybe a few more days afterwards, but for the most part, he's moving on and getting out of the way so that we don't have to worry about that opposition any longer. Of course, that's a good thing. It'll give us a little bit of a break. At the same time, though, lots of other planets are moving into Aquarius right now, which means they're going to be moving into opposition with Jupiter as well. So challenges are coming up in the next few weeks for you guys for sure. But this particular challenge is definitely on its way out. And this challenge really revolves around family. It revolves around loved ones, those that you love, those that love you. And when you're faced with a situation of somebody that loves you or proclaims to love you, but they seem to be kind of in a position where they're telling you what you should be doing all the time, well, this is a big challenge because you want to be the peacemaker and you just want to make sure that everybody's happy. But at the same time, there's a point where you have to stand up and say, hey, who the heck are you to tell me what to do? I live my life the way that I want to live my life. And you know what? You have that right. So this week's challenge is really all about grabbing onto your personal power, standing up for yourself and saying, hey, don't tell me what to do. I'm going to do what I'm going to do because that's how I choose to live my life. And as long as you're not hurting anybody, then you have every right to do that, right? Also, the moon coming in Tuesday through Thursday in your sign is going to create some challenges there as well. Not only is it going to join Jupiter with that opposition with Mars, but as it comes in, it goes into opposition with Venus and Mercury at the same time. And this is definitely going to be challenging towards your career. So you may find yourself for a day or so feeling like you can't seem to communicate your needs or your wants or what it is that you need from your career, whether it's more money, whether it's advancement, whether it's a new job altogether. It may feel like you're just not going to get it for a day or so. Don't hold on to that feeling too long, because holding on to that feeling for too long is definitely going to be destructive to your further progress. You want to progress. You want to move forward. These challenges are not there to stop you. They are there to help you grow. And take it from me, there isn't growth without some sort of discomfort or pain. Trust me. They kind of go together hand in hand. So embrace these challenges this week, embrace this growth, and embrace this frustration and pain, because it's gonna make you what you want to be. And I know that you guys can do this. You guys are the kings and queens after all. So you guys have a beautiful week with that. Virgo, the moon coming into your sign this week is definitely going to create some challenges, but it's also going to create some blessings at the same time. So we're going to start with the challenges a little bit. As she comes in Thursday and Friday, she definitely moves into opposition there with Neptune and Mars. Now, Mars is a very aggressive energy. It can be a very frustrating energy, but at the same time, it's that fire under our rears to get things going. So this challenge is really about wanting to do something but not feeling it, so to speak. Not feeling like you can do it, or just not having the right energy for it, or you want to, but there's things in the way that are stopping you. And as far as Neptune is concerned, Neptune is all about really deep emotions. So when you've got the moon and Neptune all about emotions, surface and really deep emotions in opposition with each other, that really indicates a very big challenge when it comes to your own emotions. And this all centers around relationships and those that you love. So that's the situation that's going to create this little bit of an issue there. Thursday and Friday really is when these oppositions are big. But as you move into Friday, the moon trines with Pluto and the sun. And what does this mean? It means that, it's really, really helpful when it comes to your ability to shine in your dreams and your goals and making things happen. So the bottom line is there's a great big giant festering pool here of I can't do what I want, but at the same time, there's those aspects there that are there to help you achieve those goals. And by Saturday, it's the trine only with no challenges. So it's all about achieving your goals. Bottom line is, nobody said that awesome was going to be easy, but they did guarantee that it would be worth it if you chose to put the time into it. So nothing's going to come easily. You really have to work for it. As far as relationships are concerned, and this is not just love relationships, but any kind of relationship that you happen to be in right now, if there's a bit of a miscommunication issue between you and somebody else, don't allow that to hold you back from what it is that you want to do either at the same time, because oftentimes what life does is it throws us a curve over here, a little bit of a frustration over here. Hey, guess what? We're going to create an issue for you over here, and that takes your focus away from the ultimate goal of success. Don't spend so much time on the challenge. Focus on the success. The challenge will work itself out. Remember, don't worry about it, Virgos. It'll work itself out. So you guys have a great week with that. Libra, how about a break, Libras? Because that's what it's all about this week. No planet influence, not even really a lot of house influence, which means a couple of different things. One, it's a nice vacation. It's a nice break from really having to focus on anything in particular. But at the same time, it also leaves it open for anything you want. So Basically, bottom line is, if you have some new ideas kicking around in your head that you haven't had time to really look at, now's the time to do it. Or if you just need a break and you need a week to stay in bed and relax, then do that too, if you possibly can. If your schedule will allow it anyways, the real life schedule. But bottom line is, when it comes down to it, with very little to focus on, it's up in the air. Whatever it is that you want to focus on. So take some time really to look at those ideas that you've had in the back of your mind that you've wanted to work on, that you just haven't had time for. Now's the time to be able to do a little bit of something with that. Or perhaps go back to some of those things that you started but didn't have the time to finish and wrap those up. Either way, or either way you look at it, or any way that you want to do it, enjoy the break, Libras, because these kinds of things don't happen all the time. So you guys have a great week with that. Scorpio, how about some luck this week, as the part of fortune brings you luck Sunday through Tuesday, and specifically when it comes to your relationships. Now, this is a really, really good week to really take a look at those relationships, really appreciate the good ones. And we're not just talking about love relationships, we're talking about all relationships. Really appreciate the ones that are there for you. Oftentimes we put a little bit too much focus on those that have issues going on, and then we don't see the ones that are really, really a benefit to us. So take some time this week to really look at those beneficial relationships, those people that are always there for you no matter what, and vice versa. This is also a really good opportunity to look at what you want in the relationships that are difficult, and it gives you a little bit of a hint as to how to make changes in those difficult relationships, or perhaps gives you the strength to eliminate them if that's something that you need to do as well. So it's all about relationships this week. You got some lucky days there to start off the week, Scorpios. All of the difficult planets are out of your sign for a little bit there. So enjoy yourselves, guys, and have a great week. Sagittarius, Mars is about to join Neptune in that difficult little bit of a square there with Saturn, which is now in Sagittarius. I'm going to be in Sagittarius for the next few months, as a matter of fact, till he turns retrograde and leaves for a bit, and then he comes back. But for right now, Mars is going to join that square. Now, Mars is a very difficult energy, can be a very frustrating energy. And at the same time, for you Sagittarians who already have a very heavy and fiery drive to get things going, to be in opposition with that kind of energy can be very difficult. And alongside Neptune, which is all about really deep feelings and in some cases your intuition, it's going to get a little bit crazy. But when it comes down to it, it's all about relationships, and specifically those that love you. This week's challenge aspect is all about you and your relationships. If things are not working for you, it's time to find a change for it. We talked about the bag of excuses with Taurus. We're going to bring up that bag of excuses here with Sagittarius too. Everybody has one, and it's time to put those excuses down, or the this and that, and but he does this and she does that, and wah wah wah, and look to you. What is it that you're doing that's keeping this situation from changing? I know nobody wants to hear that. Trust me, I'm the last person that wants to hear that. But at the same time, it's true. It's true for all of us. We are the ones that are keeping that situation that way for whatever reason we're doing it. And it may be a slight little stupid reason that we don't even realize yet. So this week is all about taking the time to look into that. At the same time, Saturn moves into a very favorable position with Venus and Mercury, and it's all about your career. And there are those relationships that you do have, whether they be business or family relationships, that are really 100% there to help you move forward in your career. So really, identify with those, look to those, lean on them, because they're the ones that are going to help project you forward. And again, you're not going to go anywhere while you're still holding on to that bag of excuses, or 3 or 4 bags, depending on how many bags you have. So you guys have fun with that. If anybody can handle a challenge, it's definitely you Sagittarians, because you have all of that vigor and that life and that energy there. Put the challenge to the test and make great things happen. And you guys have a great week with that. Capricorn, happy birthday to all the Capricorns born this week. And the sun is shining still in your sign, especially around your goals and dreams. And it's all about self-improvement and transformation, especially as the sun is very much conjunct with Pluto this week. Now, of course, he is also squared with Uranus as well as Pluto is, and the same with Aries. This square position between these two planets is not going anywhere anytime at all in 2015. In fact, it's here for the long haul, guys. So definitely lots of challenges and lots of learning going on. So, but at the same time, where these two planets are placed, this is all about eliminating old patterns, old mindsets, old excuses that have been holding you back. If you want to learn something new, learn it. Look it up, take the class, whatever it is. If you want to start something new, find out how to start it. But no longer is I don't know how to do it an acceptable excuse. If you want to do it, either find the people to help you or figure it out, but make it happen, because it's all about making things happen if you want to do something. Unsuccessful people complain, successful people don't. And it's as simple as that. So don't be a complainer, be a doer, because that's what Capricorns do. They get stuff done, right? And I know that you guys can handle this because I know a lot of Capricorns and I know that they do get stuff done. So have a great week with that, guys. Aquarius, say hello to Mercury this week as Mercury and Venus enter Aquarius this week. Now, that opposition with Mars still in Aquarius, who's about to leave, by the way, by next week, he'll be gone and moved on to go and visit with the Pisces for a while, play with the fishies for a while. But this week is Mars' last week in Aquarius. So, tapping into that energy to boost yourself forward, this is the last week that you're going to be able to do it. It's also going to be the last week that his opposition with Jupiter affects you anymore, because of course he'll be out of your sign at that point and moving out of that opposition altogether. But Venus and Mercury also enter your sign this week, creating beautiful possibilities to communicate your needs, especially when it comes to those career goals that are closest to your heart. So we Aquarians are the humanitarians of the world, right? If you have those goals, you want to change the world, you want to make things happen, now's the time to do it, guys, because the energy is right for it. And you want to do it now, because by the 21st of this month, Mercury is going in retrograde, and it is a full Aquarius retrograde. So 3 weeks of retrograde. So you definitely, if you want to get anything done, now is the time to get it started. Get it done this week, because we've only got so many days until that Mercury goes retrograde, and everything's going to get a little bit tricky from that point forward. Now, in the beginning of the week, there is a little bit of an issue with the moon as she's in Leo. About Monday and Tuesday, the moon's going to be coming into Leo and in opposition with Mercury and Venus. And that's going to create a little bit of an issue, especially when it feels like as you're trying to move forward and with these glorious plans and career, issues with the home seem to keep you kind of grounded. Don't we all have that problem, right? But it's temporary, and when it comes down to the bottom line is, if you can't make things happen on that day, give it a rest, focus on what you need to focus on, come back to it the following day. It's not going to be lost forever in the cosmos somewhere, and that's technically where we tend to go sometimes. So don't worry about it. The frustrations, any kind of challenges, anything, a day or so, not that big of a deal. Once you move on, things are going to be great, and you are ready to make beautiful possibilities happen. So are you going to do it? That's your challenge for this week. Are you going to do it? I'm going to do it. Let's see if you guys are going to do it. I know you can. And have a great week. And finally, Pisces. Mars is moving into conjunction very quickly with Neptune. Not quite in your sign yet, but right there on the cusp of it. So you'll be feeling the effects of this planet this week for sure. And then by next week, he's full on in Pisces and in full conjunction with Neptune, as a matter of fact, by the end of next week. But he's also joined that square there with Saturn, which is a little bit difficult. And when it comes down to it, you may feel with this challenge that even though you hold your responsibilities very, very seriously, some people around you may not be seeing it that way, and that creates a little bit of an argument. Now, Mars energy is intense. It can be very frustrating. It can promote anger and aggression, but it also can promote this beautiful, light the fire under your rear to get things moving and to get things going. And this challenge, that's what it's all about. This just may be what you need to stand up and say, hey, you know what? I'm not taking this crap anymore. Watch me do this. So when it comes down to it, use it to your advantage. Getting frustrated, getting angry, getting aggressive, not going to do you any good. And locking yourself away, also not going to do you any good. If you've been going through this situation over and over and over again, maybe you just need to stand up and say, all right, fine, I'm going to do it. It's the universe's way of saying, hey, you need to do this for yourself and your own success. When it comes down to it, Mars energy can be very beneficial for you. It can give you that get up and go to get these things done that you've been tossing around in your mind, but you just haven't decided on whether or not it's the right time to do it. Well, guess what, guys? It's the right time. And the challenge is there. It's challenging you to get up and do this and see what kind of wonderful things that you can accomplish. So step out of those comfort zones, because that's what Mars is all about. Blasting you out of that comfort zone and do a great job. Have a great week, guys. Thanks once again for listening. I'm Melissa Bruce, the heavy metal psychic and owner of Grateful Fairy Wings. Check it out. We've got classes that are starting up the second week of January. Coming up, mediumship development levels 1 and 2 and astrology level 2, as well as personal development levels 1 and 2. Don't forget to join the group Grateful Fairy Wings Faithfuls on Facebook and check out our website. These horoscopes are now faithfully on the website, the homepage of the website every week, as well as a calendar of events for any chat sessions, classes, and all the goody good stuff that we do with Grateful Fairy Wings. So don't forget to check that out, guys, and have a great week.